We'll see how this comes out. Come to you this evening on a from an undisclosed location. Got a little fire going. If I can get it here. And I forgot both my microphone stand and my tripod for the camera, so I'm using a lawn chair. It's been a couple weeks. The last couple videos from my buddy's house were very enjoyable to see the traction, see the people enjoying it, and so I wanted to continue that. I'm not sure how the audio quality would be, and I'm getting some delightful Rembrandt lighting, and this could turn out to be garbage lighting. I don't know. I'm lit by porch lights, and anyhow, that's not why I came here. Something I've thought a lot about recently, I was just watching a video about online, basically an artist that I really enjoy his art. He was commenting how another artist, YouTuber that he knew, had received a lot of personal slights, insults, and he was certainly speaking passionately about how he was disappointed, he was frustrated. He believed this was a sign of sexism. I don't doubt it. In some ways, I imagine that there are differences in the way that people regard people online, for better, for worse, right? But what it made me think about is also my own journey in trying to give less of a crap, if you will. Some people use harsher language there. It made me think about, and I've told many people personally, in my personal circles, that I believe one of the biggest sicknesses, plagues in our world right now is lack of self-esteem. We certainly have a host of different ways to anonymously insult each other. This is not healthy if you engage in such a thing, right? I understand some polite, or maybe slightly less than polite, ribbing between friends. That's how it goes. But what I'm talking about is the being cruel to people because you know you can get away with it. It's fascinating to see that as I think about my own self. I've certainly participated in this to some degree, right? Taking harsher shots, right? Making hot takes, or very curt and abrasive responses to people when I know, what are they going to do? Find me out, right? They're not going to take the time to like look me up, right? This isn't even death level threat kind of stuff. Blah. All that to say, that's yucky. That's nasty. Like, we shouldn't do that. But that's not the plague I'm talking about. I find that there's this fascinating, we want to be accepted by all the world around us, and it's my opinion that that is one of the biggest reasons for discontent in our world these days. Maybe this is every age of humankind, and I'm just in my own age starting to look around and pay attention to it. It basically goes like this: I am struggling, whether consciously or subconsciously, unconsciously, with my own self-image, my own sense of self-worth, my self-esteem. And because that is hard to wrap my head around, hard to identify, hard to diagnose, instead I look externally for validation and vindication by other people. I find it fascinating that there's many different political movements, many different social movements that simply are wanting other people to validate their position. No, I'm not making commentary on which things those are and whether or not that's good or bad. I simply find it curious that, to some degree, I wonder if you're never going to be happy with yourself if you're always looking for the rest of the world around you to accept who you are. I just don't think that's possible. There's always going to be someone out there, and because of today's internet age, we are more connected to more of humanity than ever before. And yeah, I can very quickly find groups of people that disagree with me, or that think I'm crazy because of the way I act, or the way I believe, the way I worship or vote or behave in society. I can always find a group of people that, because of this anonymized power, are able to make pot shots, right? Are able to take hot takes out on me. And I certainly don't claim to have discovered some sort of inner utopia where I am now 100% bulletproof. But this kind of thought process occurred to me, I don't know, in the last couple years, where I really just started to sit down and think, if I don't like who I am, maybe that's where I need to start. There's a whole host of things. I've got a couple videos, and I'd love to do many more videos on it. Cognitive behavioral therapy, right? CBT. My embarrassing yet comical experience with getting angry about pizza crust, and realizing that really was me feeling shame and maybe some fear of embarrassment. All this to say, and like I said, this is me just kind of chatting in front of a fire. But all this to say that the next time you or I feel a strong emotional reaction to something, right? We feel our heart race, our blood pressure increase, our face flush, right? We feel the physical manifestations of anger. That's a moment to stop and to think, am I feeling something deep here because I'm trying to get other people to agree or approve of something I'm doing? Or is it something else, right? There are certainly activities, right, behaviors that are repugnant, and I'm all for being bold, standing up against these things, of course. But I'm just talking about that there are times where someone may disagree with us, or say something we're doing is stupid or wrong or evil or dumb, or, insert pejorative epithet here. And it makes us, we chafe at it, right? We say, that's how dare they say that? Are we offended because it's offensive, or are we offended because we don't like the fact that there are people that disagree with us? And if there are people that disagree with us, why do you care? If I ask you, right, if I sit down and we go through the kind of the Socratic method of disagreement here, we say, do you believe that you have ideas that at least one person somewhere on the face of the planet disagrees with, right, even strongly disagrees with? Pretty sure every single person we could ever ask that question to would say, yeah, of course, that makes sense, right? There's at least one person that, vehemently disagrees. And yet, when we are in the moment of passion, in the moment of frustration, of emotional discord, that's when we tend to go, ugh, right? And yet it was my own process of asking people that I admire and said, how do you just not seem to get bothered by this stuff? Some people, a couple of my friends, love them to pieces, but they just kind of said, I don't know, man. I just don't. Okay. I don't know if I could quite follow that. That's not really a system to implement. But talking to a couple friends who were, psychologists, and were like, well, yeah, I know what you mean. And here's how I've studied how to get there. It was this process of sitting down and asking yourself, well, do you like yourself? Right? It's fascinating to me to see where this is an awesome intersection of philosophy and psychology, right? The Friedrich Nietzsche kind of idea of internal truth, and when you live farther and farther away from that internal, what you really believe you need to be doing, the more shame you feel. And when you feel the shame, you wear a mask, right? You tend to act in a way that you're not happy with and does not bring you happiness. And the closer you can live to this truth, right? Psychologically, I think we can see that pretty well as well. That if you really feel you need to be living a certain way, and you are constantly putting on the mask, especially trying to get other people to validate this mask, that tends to lead to psychological problems. And again, this is my hypothesis. I claim no formal education here. But it's something I've been thinking about. I wanted to share these thoughts again as I sit in front of a fire, hold a little bit of a microphone here. It's a beautiful starry night, and yeah, the action here is, or the action item is to the next time you feel like you're having a strong emotional reaction, consider that if you are hoping that those around you accept your life decisions, ask yourself if it really matters. If you're looking for opinions, if you're looking for guidance, if you're looking for perspective, then you're probably open to hearing contradictory and conflicting opinions because you're looking for perspective. But if you're asking people for their approval and you're angry when you don't get it, what does that matter to you? And why does it matter? Explore these thoughts, think about these things, and ask yourself if you believe it's the right thing to do, and they're not going to be able to present something to you that is going to just magically and instantly change it. Again, be open-minded. But if you simply want all the world to accept you, first blush, no dialogue, no epistemological exchange, that's probably an indicator that you have an opportunity to explore yourself and to grow and to learn more about where your limits are and how to become stronger and love yourself, accept yourself more fully. And when you do this, I can speak to at least a little bit of progress there myself. This is a powerful thing. And the beauty in this is that don't just watch this video. The internet is full of interesting ways to consider these things. And go look up those videos, right? Look about exploring yourself, right? Look up Nietzsche. Look up cognitive behavioral therapy. Look up, I don't care if you're a Jordan Peterson fan or if you're I don't know, insert someone who'd be the opposite of Jordan Peterson here. I don't know, just explore yourself to know yourself better and to become more confident that you are living according to your internal compass. That's some powerful stuff.